Good morning, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet, and on the line I have Olivia Grisham. Say hi, Olivia.
Hey, everybody. Hi.
So what we've got going on this morning is probably going to be pretty quick. We've got some things that we need to cover, and then we have a guest from our CBOs to talk about their program, and hopefully we can get all of this wrapped up by 10:30 because we don't have a lot to talk about, but we have a lot to talk about, but not much about each thing. So this is a good thing for all of us. So let's start right away with the dashboard. Hopefully everybody has a chance to check in quickly, check in quickly, check in quickly. All right. Yeah, good idea, Olivia. And if you've got anything that we need to talk to us about or that we need to explain to you, check those topics in the lower left corner. So check in the check-in real quick. We'll give you one more minute because it is just only 10:01. All right, go on up, Olivia.
All righty. So I am quickly just going to run through our 3 dashboards and cover the areas that we need to be keeping an eye on. So we did finally get some updates pushed out last night. One of them went in and corrected a lot of these incomplete applications older than 24 hours. Some people had declined to participate, but they weren't getting moved out of this section. They now are moved out. So these 2 in here still need cleaned up. They just need to either come in and finish that application, or we need to figure out if they're declining to participate and mark them correctly. So they're no longer in this yellow line here. The next section of the dashboard we need to get cleaned up is this review, ready for review by IDHS Caseworker. We have 5 customers who need to go through the eligibility review process. I noticed when I was going through some of the customers and cleaning up the dashboard yesterday that if customers were recommended for no programs, a lot of people were just closing out of it at that point. If a customer is recommended for no programs, you need to check that box and still fill out the bottom part if they're SNAP eligible and what model you think they would have went into, and click Save. Or it is not going to know that you have done eligibility review, and these customers will show in here. So I think a few of them are those, but I just wanted to make sure for you guys, I went in and cleaned a lot of them up yesterday, but your dashboard numbers will not look as good if you're not completing that page and you're just closing out of it. The other section is needs to be scheduled for consent and the missed consent meeting. Total, we have 19 customers who need to complete the consent for the random assignment portion of EPIC. We need to get them in and figure out if they're wanting to see if they can get into EPIC or if they're declining to participate at that time, and mark them as such. That way they can move into either a green or yellow section of the dashboard. And those are all of the sections on the intake dashboard. So next,
Olivia,
we're going to,
Olivia,
yes.
Before you move on, we do have, under decline to participate, I want to thank everybody. We do have 4 cases left that need to be cleaned up. One is from Cal Park in Cook County, and then 3 of them are from Southeast in Cook County. I did send an email out yesterday to those 2 offices, so if you could get those taken care of today, that would be absolutely wonderful. So those are under the declined EPIC services at this time.
All righty. So the next thing I want to go over with you guys is our intake projection numbers. So this section right here, let me zoom out just a hair so we can see the whole thing. So this section right here is the statewide numbers. This is what Secretary Demas is looking at. And as you can see, we're not to that blue line yet. We need to keep working really hard and making sure that we're getting our numbers up, because this is what Secretary Demas is looking at. You can see right here that the total number of treatment customers is 1,140. We have 2,712 remaining, so we really need to keep getting those customers in, getting them assigned properly, not quickly, but we really want good customers coming through this flow. We just need to make sure that we're working really hard to continue getting customers in, put through Epic, and assigned to CBOs that are going to be able to help them get to where they want to be. Do you guys have any questions on the intake projections? All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the enrolled dashboard. So on the enrolled dashboard, there's just a couple sections that I want to go over. One is the referral pending, no contact from customer, recommend conciliation. We have 93 customers who need to go through the conciliation process. The second is referred and rejected. We have 7 customers who were rejected by the CBO, either because they didn't meet the minimum qualifications. It could be a drug-free program that maybe some of them are able to pass the drug test. Various reasons like that, these customers aren't able to go into the program, so they need to be reassigned and realigned with a training program that is going to better suit their needs. And then the final section on the enrolled dashboard is the DHS review, recommend sanction. We have 44 customers who have completed the conciliation process with the CBO and either did not show up to that conciliation meeting or did not agree to the terms with the CBO. So they are now being recommended to sanction and sent back to you guys. Do you guys have any questions at all on the enrolled dashboard? I see somebody typing, but I'm not sure. Go ahead, Dee.
Hello. I do want to say that it's very, 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 very important that you keep track of these customers in Epic, whether or not they are eligible for SNAP benefit, because if they are no longer eligible for SNAP benefits, and we'll show you that in a progress page, if they are no longer eligible for SNAP benefits, they need to come out of the program and give space to another participant. So it's very, very, very important that we keep track of whether or not these people are eligible. And that's all handled in effect by the 2151As that are being submitted. And if somebody submits somebody for conciliation and they've gone through the conciliation process and then now they're recommending them for sanction, you guys need to jump on that, because we need to get these people through the system the right way. And we're trying to help the CBOs do their part, but we do have some CBOs that have not been regular SNAP providers, and so we're trying to pull them along and teach them as we go, and we're going to be working with them. But if you're missing the timeline to do the sanction or to do the conciliation, and they have to start over, that's just money that they're getting from the state that could be going to somebody else that needs it more. All right, let's move on.
Alrighty, well that was all of the dashboard stuff that I had to go over. I'm going to pull this over so I can see the agenda.
Oh, I've got it over on the side.
Okay. Oh, okay.
One other thing that we want to talk about, we do have the line in the dashboard that says no longer SNAP/Epic eligible. So if you want to, I'm going to pull that. If you want to show them where that is, it's near the top. That also includes anyone who is a TANF recipient. And we had this discussion a while back that sometimes they start out as an ABOD and then become TANF. We need to track those as well, because TANF recipients cannot receive EPIC services. Okay? All right. Yeah, April has a question here. I have a question about people that have been referred to the CBO. If a client has been approved for EPIC and they fail to attend their initial appointment, and the local, I'm assuming that you're meaning the local CBO office, completes the recon process, or do you mean the DHS office, and clients FS end up sanctioned and they come go to the CBO after sanctioned, that they are willing to cooperate. I'm assuming, oh my goodness, I'm having a hard time understanding all of this. Okay, here's the process. If the customer never, ever attends their initial appointment, it is incumbent upon the DHS office to do the conciliation. If they end up sanctioned because of that, then they are not eligible for SNAP benefits, and they are not eligible for the EPIC program. If they attend the conciliation appointment and agree, and you get it in writing on the 3392, they can be rescheduled with the CBO. Does that answer your question, April? Okay. All right. Let's move on. Olivia, are you done with the dashboard?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do we have anything on the iStep dashboard that the CBOs or the DHS office people need to know?
No.
Okay. All right. So do you want to go to the reports and show them the DHS? I'm sorry, go to resources and the DHS contacts. Now, we have set up primary and secondary contacts for all of the offices, and these are set up for everyone across the state. What happens here is if a case note gets sent to the DHS primary contact, the secondary contact will also receive the message, and action needs to be taken on some of these case notes, especially the ones where somebody is saying that they're having a hard time with a customer. This is a team effort. This is team control. The CBOs need support from DHS, and DHS may need support from the CBO. So we need to work cooperatively and do a holistic approach to addressing these customers. So these messages will go so that in the event that Angela is on vacation or on a sick day, then Asher will also get the message. Same thing with Anthony and Leslie. So all of these are set up based on information that was provided to us from DHS. If there are any changes in your offices, please let us know or let the DHS admin team know, Deidre and Aurelia and Lisa and Brianna, and there's a new one. I can't remember who it is. I apologize. So we want to make sure that those are all taken care of. CBOs, if you're going to go to somebody's profile, Olivia, I'll let you just drive. Go to a customer profile. Oh, we need to go into test. Do you have test open?
Yeah, I'll pull that open really quickly.
I've got a test account open, so I'll minimize you.
Okay.
Here's your chance to check in if you didn't already get checked in. Check, check, check. So we've got 29 people on the call, but we've only got 17 people checked in. All right, that's a little better. Okay, let me open my screen. And so on a customer profile, this is test. Let me make this just a bit bigger here. On test, we do have the ability now for the CBOs to make updates to address and phone number. What this will do is it will set up an automatic case note under the profile section. So if you're checking these case notes, this will alert you through a case note, but it will not put a red flag anywhere. So if you're worried about where a customer is or if there's a change in address, you can always go back to their profile information or check the last case note that is on here. Then we also have new search filters. I showed these to you on test last week. Those are all active now. So if I go to search, all of the advanced search filters have new options in them, and you can check based on a number of different things. Then the other thing that is happening is on all of the exported files. So if I go to a list and I export the list, this is a couple of weeks old now, the last case file shows up. So it's taking a while for that to filter, so I'll go on to the next item. Ineligible update. So what we see here, these are all test cases. Over here on the right-hand side, you can see there's a case note in here, who entered the case note and what the date was for that case note. So you can have a conversation back and forth by just checking the report. This is a good opportunity. It's a suggestion I'm making for regions 2 through 5 who do not have mandatory staffings. What you may want to do is create a list and pull your list from the enrolled dashboard for the CBOs and work with the CBOs to do staffings for their problem customers. I'm suggesting to the CBOs that they pull the situation worse, no progress, and minimal progress customers, pull them all into one spreadsheet, and upload that document to their DHS file, to their CBO file on Epic, and then send the primary contact an email so that they can discuss any problem customers. So that is what we're looking at doing there. We have also on test under a customer, we're hoping that this this got pushed out live, but I'll show you on test. On a progress page on a customer, we have, okay. Come on, baby. There we go. All right. This is where we need you guys to pay attention also to the eligibility status. You can update to whether or not they are SNAP eligible and exempt, not receiving TANF. We have a new option here, TANF recipient, not EPIC eligible. If they're ineligible for SNAP, or if they are just flat out eligible. That's where you need to check that area. And then on the exit information, they have the opportunity to, if they have successful completion and they are hired by an employer on whatever date it is. So let's go to January 2017, and it was yesterday. We update, it will ask the CBO for employer information. They will enter some employer information, and then they will need to track and upload the 2151s. So they need to do a 2151 here. They need to add employer information. So you can come to the exit information and check to see if a customer is successfully completed or not by the information that's entered here. And then once the employer information is entered, the name of the employer, if you click on that, it will pop up and open up so that you can see that. All right, I think that I've gotten everything. Olivia, does it look like I've gotten everything?
Yep.
All right, and Leslie just said, in reference to the DHS contacts list, is the DHS contact listed on the customer's profile, emailed case notes, or only the primary and secondary contact. Leslie, on each customer, on this contact information, it is supposed to be listed here, the primary contact. So if Christine Bacon is listed as the primary contact, then she would be there in that position. And so that's what all of these primary contacts have been set up as. And I believe for Region 4, you gave me somebody from each office. If we need to change that, please let me know who that is, and then make sure that you let Deidre know who that person is. Does that answer your question, Leslie? Okay. All right, great. Okay, what I want to do now is let's open up the phone line for our guest CBO, and I'm going to go find her website information. It is Margaret Haywood from Inspiration Corporation, and let's see when Margaret comes on the line. Olivia, are you still on the line?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm looking
You're
for
looking
her.
All right.
They only have one 878 number, but it's
Try it.
not the one we have listed, so I'm going to try it.
All right.
Margaret, are you there?
Hi, this is me.
Awesome.
Yay.
Yay.
Margaret Haywood from Inspiration Corporation. I'm going to get your website up in just a moment.
Okay.
Go ahead and tell everybody.
All right. Let me, you've got in the system some of the information about our schedule for orientations and a little bit about the requirements. So I want to use this opportunity to talk a little bit more about why one of your participants might be interested in a job or a training program in the food service industry to begin with. People might say, well, I can just go get a job at McDonald's by myself, which is probably true. But what we're aiming for is to get people out of that entry-level job. I would argue that what they're doing at McDonald's barely qualifies as cooking. It's like pseudo-manufacturing. We're trying to teach people the basic skills they need, both in terms of culinary and human interaction, so that they will be the person who is promotable in their job. They're most likely, coming out of our program, going to get a job with a title like prep cook or line cook or maybe kitchen assistant. And the food service industry, particularly restaurants specifically, is really kind of a game of attrition. You don't have to be a rock star. If you're there every day, you got your head down, you're doing a good job, you're going to outlast the guy who might have a little more talent in the cooking, but who is an erratic employee. Because at the end of the day, the chef doesn't need one more thing to worry about. He just wants to know somebody's going to be there to do the job. And so we're trying to get people those basic skills where they will stand out a little from the other employees, that they have good technique in their cutting, that they can follow a recipe. They have the sense of urgency that you need in the kitchen. So when you get done with something, you don't stand around waiting for somebody to tell you what to do. You just go start cleaning or do something, or go ask the chef for something to do, but don't take a laid-back kind of attitude. The students in our program are actually training in a real restaurant. We have a place over in Garfield Park, Inspiration Kitchens. I hope you will come there. Go to the conservatory, too, because it's beautiful and fantastic and nice at this time of year to be in humidity. But they get that exposure to what it's like when you get a big lunch rush and you just have to get those orders out, and there's no time for fooling around. There's no time for being tired or having a disagreement with another student that you don't like. It's just got to get done. We had a table of 20 yesterday, plus others' tables in the dining room. And so it was really busy, and people just had to get that food out. And so there's not a lot of time for your personal drama or anything like that. So people are really getting exposed to what the industry is like. And occasionally somebody gets into the program and realizes, I love cooking for my family, but I've realized this isn't the same thing, because it's not. So We try to give people as much of a sense of that as possible in orientation, how this differs from cooking at home. It is not creative at the entry level. You're there to execute the chef's menu and recipe, and he is really not interested in your opinion on his chicken dish, his lasagna, etc. So you need to be able to put that aside for a while. You will eventually work your way up to where you have menu input, but that's not what it's going to be like at the beginning. So we try to give people a really clear picture of, you know, the challenges with the industry as well as the pros. And one of the big pros is this is still an area where you can do that American dream thing of starting at the very bottom and working your way up to the top. There really are executive chefs out there who started as the dishwasher. And again, part of it is just that showing up. I was there every day, and I asked questions, and I was willing to do new things. And when the grill cook didn't show up one day, I was the guy that the chef looked at and said, hey, get in there. And I did a good job, so I got moved up. You can go to culinary school. We have some very good culinary schools here in Chicago, but that's going to cost you a lot of money. You can get similar experience just by managing your career well. I'm not saying that's easy. It requires thought and planning, but you know, you make sure you work at an Italian place, work at a French place, work at a steakhouse, learn a lot of things. You can go in and work for free, basically on your own time, with somebody else who's got a skill you want to learn. You want to learn how to bake? Go work with the baker before you punch in. And for some people this is hard because they feel like, well, why should I be a chump and go in and work for free for this company that it's here? But you're getting the free education. You're not paying Kendall College to learn how to bake. You're learning for free from the person who already knows how to do it. That's how people get ahead in this industry. So you can, without an expensive educational intervention, move up in this industry and really get into family-sustaining wages. So we think that's one of the big pros. We do take take applications every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, so there isn't a big wait to start the process. And we have classes starting every month, so usually people don't have to wait a long time from coming into orientation to actually getting started if they follow through with the whole process. So any questions I can answer?
Tell us a little bit more about people working in your kitchen and then making the transition.
So we do have an option. Thank you for that prompt. When people graduate, it's a 12-week program. At the end of that, a couple of students at least, maybe 3, can stay and work for us for a month in a transitional job. So we'll be paying them minimum wage, which is now $10.50 in Chicago, for a month, and they can continue to hone their skills a little with us before they go out on the permanent job search. Some people can also do those transitional jobs with an outside employer, so we're still paying their wage. The employer gets to test them out for free. And most of the time when we've done that, people do wind up becoming employed because the employer can see, oh yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. He shows up. Super. We do hire some of our own graduates into permanent positions in our kitchen. That's our preference. And what was I going to say? Oh, 75% of people who've gone through the program have gotten a job. And that 25% who didn't, it's largely because they didn't put out the effort. It's not because we had trouble connecting with employers or finding them a job. It's generally they just disappeared on us or decided they want to go to trucking school or move to Chattanooga or whatever it's going to be. So I never use the word guarantee, but generally if somebody will go on the job interviews we set up for them and look on their own, they're going to get a job.
Margaret, hello, I'll start over again.
Sure. We're both
Margaret,
having trouble with our mouth today.
Does your CBO only offer the hospitality program?
We
or do
only
you
have
other programs with Epic?
Right now we only have the hospitality program. We
Okay.
are thinking that maybe in the next year, and we're only concentrated really on cooking. We're not teaching restaurant operations or customer service. I think by the end of the year we might be adding a customer service front of house component.
Okay.
And another thing that we've recently added, and I should update the information on Epic with this, we're now offering stipends to the students to sort of encourage them. So if you get through week 1, you get a little check just to say, welcome. We slightly redesigned the program so it falls into 3 blocks, 3-month-long blocks. So when you finish block 1, you get another check to say well done, and part of it is based on there's an opportunity to get $75 if you had perfect attendance in that month, and if you're performing satisfactorily grade-wise, you get $75. So it could be $150 at the end of the first, second, and third blocks, and then at the end of the third block, there's an additional $50 to say congratulations on graduating. So potentially, if you hit all the marks, there's $550 in stipend as well during the program.
Nice. And is that on top of paid work experience?
They're not doing paid work experience during the training, during the 12-week training. That's the only money they would be getting is that stipend. The paid work experience comes after graduation.
And that's where you send them out to different people and there's a potential that they might actually get hired.
Yep.
Very good. And now you've got 16 restaurants on here. Italy is a huge one.
Yeah.
Lou Malnati's is huge. So are there other ones besides these that are listed and your own that you work with? And are they all in the city, or do you have some on the near west, near north, near south?
You mean still within Chicago but not downtown?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we will work with people on, what kind of job they want location-wise, and if they would be better suited for an independent operator as opposed to some of these are big names here. Independents will be a little bit more tolerant, we've found, about criminal records. So sometimes a small place is more willing to take a chance on an ex-offender because they don't have all the layers of HR and legal that some of these big, that a big chain does.
Sure. All right. And obviously you do all of the help with workplace skills and the resume and all those good things that we need you guys to do.
Resumes, a lot of communication. We teach meditation and have the students practice that every day to develop mindfulness and
Nice.
the ability to pause before reacting, because that's something we all need a little bit of. And then they do the resumes. We spend a lot of time practicing interviewing and talking about the sort of typical interview questions. When they ask you to tell me about yourself, don't say that you're like a single mom who likes soccer.
All right. Are you incorporating Employment 101 and the optimal resume from the Illinois WorkNet tools?
We haven't gotten to the Employment 101. We are looking at the optimal resume, I think, as the tool.
Good.
We've been using a lot of the, we have been using the Employment 101 because we've got people who need to do some extra hours because they're not quite at the 20 hours for the week while they've been accepted but waiting to start. So we're having them do independent work using the WorkNet website.
Good. And just to remind everybody, you do intake once a week or once a month?
Mm-hmm. Once a week, every Tuesday.
Okay, cool.
We've got our appointments through May listed, so.
Yay! You got my message this morning, I take it.
Yes. Decided we'll just nail that down.
All right. Well, okay, so then what I want to thank you for joining us, Margaret Haywood from Inspiration Corporation, and you can find her information for their program on the EPIC Partner Restricted Resources page. Last thing that I want to do for everybody that's still here is I want to pull up a poll question. So this is real important. We need to make sure that everybody is getting the information out. I'm not going to share the answers on this poll question, so you can answer the questions without worrying about who's seeing your answer besides me. So as you're looking at this, please fill out the answers for me so that I can see how much more work we have to do to get the message out to the other staff. And I'm going to end our recording now. I want to thank you for your attendance today. And I want to, unless Olivia, do you have anything else that you need to?
Nope. Does everybody have a good Friday? Be safe. It's Friday the 13th.
Yeah. All right. Please answer the poll question, and we'll talk to you next week.